Originally, it was going to be sort of a 3D carved mountain, but because of the nature of computer files, sometimes things don't go exactly the direction you want them to go. So we decided to cut in contours out of 3/16" birch plywood. Okay, this is a computer navigated personal CNC. It's a tabletop router which works like any other router that you would use in a wood shop. The difference is it's controlled by a computer, so you can design anything you want in 2 dimensions, and actually 2.5 dimensions is what they call it. But what you have is you have a Y dimension, which is the length, the X dimension, and then you have the Z, which is the up and down. Anything you can design with those 3 vectors can be done. The CNC machine is a very complex machine, but once you know the rules, it's no longer complex. It's a creative tool. The way this machine works is you bring your file into a program like Illustrator, which is your design program, and you can use any design program. Then it goes into a second program. Once you have it finalized, you bring it into a program called Aspire. There are others, but that's what we use here at the university. So Aspire essentially gives you the opportunity to take the vectors from Illustrator and give them instructions. So you tell each vector what you want it to do. I want to cut it, I want to scoop it, I want to pin it, I want to cut holes with that vector. You can, any way you can think about cutting with a router, you tell those lines to do it. The Katadhin Project is a collaboration between 4 artists. One part of the project is sound, which originated as a 5-point sound project, but because the number 7 is significant in the Penobscot culture, it's now a 7-point sound. 7 places in the gallery will have sound and stories, and a song that was written specifically for the Penobscot Nation, a new song. We're using what's called a max patch that will be used to watch the video that we've collected and generate the randomness of the sound. So it'll never be the same. The video has been collected from various sources, and the sound has been collected from various sources all on the mountain. We have some incredible northern lights that will be projected on the Katadhin model. Each contour is cleaned up and turned into a complete closed vector, which means that every ring you see on a topographical map is in this mountain. And has been regenerated at 20-foot levels. So the rise between each ring is 20 feet. And the Katadhin model is a collaboration at this point mostly between James Francis, who's the cultural historian for the Penobscot Nation, and myself. This, what I'm looking at now, is called a spoil board. It's called a spoil board because it gets spoiled in the fact that it protects the bed of the table, which you don't want to cut into. So what happens is you get a board like this, which has all the lines on all the pieces. So since this is an intermediate program, for me, this is a very important piece of the job, because when I'm done, this is also Mount Katadhin. This piece right here, this 4x8 board, in fact, is the same mountain that is built as a 3D model outside. The difference is, it's just all cut into one board. Layer 164. You know, the process is very important to me of how this came together. I learned a lot. We all learned a lot. We didn't always agree, and I didn't give in to what I thought was the right way to produce it at times. But my hopes are is that people will see in this what we see in it, which is we see a real representation of the mountain. We see in its subtleties, when you walk away, we see the lines of the mountain that you normally wouldn't see in nature in the same way. We get to examine the valleys and the chimneys and the ponds from above, which is really kind of cool, because how many times do you get to look down on a mountain? So my hope is that this piece of work that I've worked on for days on end helps James communicate the importance of Mount Katadhin to the people of the Penobscot Nation, and that the people of the Penobscot Nation are proud of this piece because of James's influence in bringing it together.